Hi everyone, Melissa here. Today I'm doing a design that a friend showed to me. She showed me this design and asked how I would do it with dip powder. So I have thought up what colors I would use. I'm actually changing the colors up a little bit. I'm going to be trying to get that neon look in there while still maintaining kind of a transition to fall feel with the colors. So I'm going to be working with yellow, orange, and red. So I have For Allison, Safety Dance, and Crimson Vixen from Double Dipped that I'm going to be using. I'm also going to be using Take My Money from Double Dipped, which is a nice kind of sheer nude. And then Sheer Elegance from Double Dipped, which is a sheer black. We're also going to be doing some micro lining and some color blocking, and there's going to be all kinds of fun stuff in this design, so let's get into it. I'm going to start by putting down my solid colors. I always like to do that first and then work on the design after. So I'm going to be doing the design on these two nails. I'm going to be doing 2 accent nails, not a full hand of the accent nails like are in the inspiration. I wanted to change it up, and you know, that a full hand of accent nails is usually too much for me, so I'm gonna kind of calm it down a little bit, and I'm gonna do a full nail of Safety Dance and 1 full nail of Crimson Vixen, and then of course For Allison here. So I'm gonna go ahead and dip out my solid colors, and then we'll be back to do the design. Okay, now I got those dipped, I went ahead and activated these nails so that they could start to set while I'm doing the other nails. Now, I'm going to be doing color blocking over peel base, so my very first step is going to be a layer of dip base over these nails. That will protect the peel base from peeling up when the tape comes up. Okay, now for the tape, I'm going to be using the same nail strip tape, color blocking tape that I usually use, but it's actually thicker than I want it to be, so I can block out the lines that I want. So I've just taken a little X-Acto blade, a little X-Acto knife, and I've kind of just cut it right here on the roll, in about as straight a line as I can get. There will be lines, lines of demarcation, basically lines that I draw on the nail that will fix any mistakes that aren't absolutely perfect, but I do want this nail tape to be able to block out the lines that I need for the process that I'm doing. So, okay, now I'm just going to pull up some of the tape that I have cut here. I'll be able to pull up just half of that like this. And I'm going to place this on the nail in the space that I want my neon colors to be. This is going to mark out where the neon ombre is going to sit. Okay, now the reason I've put this down here so far is just so that I can space out exactly where I want to put this tape. So I'm going to place a piece of tape on either side of the tape I laid out that's going to be the ombre. I know this seems like a crazy way to do it, but after I put down the ombre, I have to cover it with a piece of tape, so I need to have the sizing just right. And then I'm gonna move this guy out of the way and put him somewhere that I can use him again later. There should be enough stickiness left to get it back on that part of the nail where I need it. Do the same thing over here. Okay, so now we're going to do a little bit of ombre action here. So I'm gonna open up all 3 of these. Get my trusty ombre brush, my e.l.f. eyeshadow brush, and I'm gonna apply some dip liquid right here in the middle. Alright, there's 1 layer. I'll probably do 2 just to get a good amount of color on there. Okay, so that came out pretty decent. We have a little bit that lifted up here, but that's okay. It's not too bad, and we can just clean that up. We'll just clip off the edges of what should have come off with the tape. Straighten that out a bit. Okay, now those little ombre strips are down. I'm going to take my money and I'm going to fill in the other parts. I'm gonna do this freehand. You could take the little strips that we took off earlier and put those in this spot to fill and take your money, but I'm gonna be saving those for when I add on Sheer Elegance, because I know that I can freehand this all right. We'll be filing after and be able to clean anything up that we get overlapping, so. Getting into a little side space like that freehand is pretty difficult, but you can just do it with the side of the brush, and then if you get any into the cuticle or onto the skin, you can just use a little tool to clean that up, and it's not so bad. Okay, so I did 2 dips, or 2, yeah, I guess 2 dips, 2 layers of Take My Money on each of these. I'm gonna go ahead and activate these 2, and then I'm gonna file everything. These 2 nails I'm not going to file too much because I do only have 2 layers of dip on there since I plan on adding more layers on top. So I'm just going to file them enough to smooth out the color block and make sure that all the layers are flush. Okay, now I have those filed smooth. I'm going to do a layer of base, dip base over both of these nails because we're going to do another layer of dip powder. And since there's activator in the lower layers, this first layer of base is going to dry very quickly, which means that the next layer of dip powder we put on could end up splotchy if we dipped immediately. So we put this layer down, then the next layer will dry more slowly. Okay, so now we're going to do a layer of Sheer Elegance. So I'm going to go ahead and put the little thin strip that I had over the neon back over. Make sure it covers that pretty well. Okay, now I'm going to do a layer of Sheer Elegance. This is a sheer black that when put over a nude gives a nice like lacy black layer, which is what I'm going for. So I'm going to do pour over on this because I want a really good clean coverage layer that doesn't get any wrinkles from dipping or laying in. And I also want to make sure that I'm using a self-leveling base for this layer and that I get a nice clean self-leveled layer on there, or else this isn't going to come out as smooth as you would like it to. Okay, I'm gonna activate these and then just do a light buff before I do a layer of clear, just to even out that layer just a little bit more. Okay, and then the last thing I'll be doing on these two nails is a layer of clear. And do one dip of clear and then activate and then file them again, just to make sure that the entire nail is smooth because we'll be doing some drawing over the top. Okay, so I just gave that a little bit of a file and a buff to smooth out the surface so we have a nice surface to draw on. Just gonna take an alcohol wipe and wipe the surface down. Oh, and I should probably mention what I'm wearing on my left hand. This is Sulu C from Rebel. Okay, now I'm gonna grab my microns here. I'm gonna be starting with my 1/4 millimeter. I also have a 0.45 millimeter. And these are two different brands, but these are the two that I generally use, Microline and Pigma. I'm actually going to start with this one just because I'm doing a thicker line first. And I'm just going to use this to draw some detail lines that are darker than the black that we just placed down.
The world seems small. We can sit together. It's so beautiful. You and me. We meant to.
Okay, now I'm just going to do a layer of dip base over both of these to kind of seal the design before we activate and top coat. Okay, and I'm just going to go ahead and activate these and then top coat them.
Sometimes you need to go and take a step back to see the truth around you. From a distance you can tell.
All right, and there we go. And it really fun multi-step design, but it was a lot of fun to work out and to get done. I actually hadn't practiced it on a swatch, so I was happy that came out the way it did. And let me know if you like it below. I think this is a great transition set, so I'm happy. Also, I did start a TikTok, so go and check me out. I don't have a lot on there yet, still pretty new, but at Melissa's Manis. Go and give me a follow. I'll see you there, and I'll see you next time.